ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमामि विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नित्यानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानन्दप्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानुवापते नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। सब सभी भक्तों का हार्दिक स्वागत है। वेलकम टू ऑल द डिवोटीज। So we are discussing from chapter 2 verse 56. स्थित धीर दुखेषु अनुद्विग्नमनः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते। One who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. The sage or Muni of Sthitadhi, of steady mind. So we discussed yesterday definition of Muni, who is a Muni, and who is a Sthitadhir Muni. So Krishna conscious person is a Sthitadhir Muni because he is freed from all kinds of creative speculation. So he is called Prasanta Nishesha Manorathe Rathantara, or one who has surpassed the stage of mental speculations and has come to the conclusion that Lord Shri Krishna or Vasudeva is everything. So one who can come to this conclusion that Lord Shri Krishna or Vasudeva is everything and everything is meant for his pleasure, his service, so such a person is to be known as he has come to the complete perfect conclusion and he has surpassed all kinds of discussion and all kinds of speculation. So he is a fixed up Muni. Isthitadhir Muni he is called. So he is called a Muni fixed in mind. Mind is not deviated. Such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of the threefold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord, thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds, and he sees that his miseries, by the grace of the Lord, are minimized to the lowest. Such a fully Krishna conscious person, he is completely undisturbed by any kind of miserable situation. Because the reason is because he understands whatever is happening in my life, this is all sanctioned by the Supreme Lord and is in control of the Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord, being very merciful to his devotees, he arranges any happenings in the life of a devotee in such a manner that the devotee can uh, progress in his devotional service to Krishna. So, knowing this very well, a devotee, even in disturbing situations, even in miserable miseries, during miseries, she still surrenders to the Supreme Lord and accepts that, my dear Lord, okay, if at all you feel this will be good for me, so I accept this miserable, disturbing situation. So my duty is to always remember your lotus feet to chant your holy name. So let me chant. And he simply chants even in disturbing situations. He is taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So in this way, he is not at all bewildered. It's not that a devotee who fully surrenders to Krishna, he will not get miserable situation. He can get, but he will get in such a way that it will help him to advance more in Krishna consciousness. That's why The miserable situation doesn't appear or does not remain as miserable situation. It becomes actually good for a devotee because by this, a devotee can progress more on the path of Krishna consciousness. A devotee can, when the miseries or disturbing situations in life come, a devotee who is intelligent enough, he concludes or he understands that this is the harsh reality of this material world, that nothing in this material existence is meant for me. No, everything is just here is not favorable, not suitable for me. So the only activity, the only task, the only thing I must do is to surrender to the Supreme Lord. So in this way, those so-called disturbances, miseries in a life of devotee actually are great benediction because by those miserable situations, disturbances, a devotee is forced or impelled to become firmly situated in the devotional service of Krishna. So that's why he sees that his miseries are grace of the Lord. Similarly, when he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. He realizes that it is due only to the Lord's grace that he is in such a comfortable condition and able to render better service to the Lord. And similarly, when there is happiness in the life of a devotee, some material happiness, material facility comes. So for this also he gives all credit to the Lord, understanding himself to be unworthy of it. A devotee knows I must have done so many sinful activities because of which I was supposed to get so many miserable situation. But since I have engaged myself in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. So Krishna being very merciful, he is helping me to advance. And for that matter, uh, some facilities are required. So Krishna provides all those facilities. So in this way, a devotee can remains fixed up in this consciousness. That's why he is Sthit Dhir Muni. And for the service of the Lord, he is always daring and active and is not influenced by attachment or aversion. This we discussed yesterday. Is such a devotee, Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha, Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. Although he is free from attachment, but he has no fear and no frustration, but still he acts, he's always daring and very active. He's not influenced by attachment or aversion and for the service of the Lord. Attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification, and detachment is the absence of such sensual attachment. But one fixed in Krishna consciousness either has neither attachment nor detachment, because his life is dedicated in the service of the Lord. So a devotee is neither attached nor detached. Attachment means for one's own sense gratification, one may act in a certain way, and detachment means in order to avoid sense gratification, one makes a distance from such activities because one understands by engaging in sense gratification, one's life will be miserable. So in this way, he avoids such active sensual activities. But a devotee, he is neither attached nor detached. He is simply concerned with the service of the Supreme Lord Krishna. His concern is, if at all, by acting in this way, service to Krishna will be done, Krishna will be pleased, then I must act in that way. Why to avoid? The devotee is not interested in avoiding certain activity, neither is interested in acting in certain way. That is what is known as Sthita Dhir Muni Ruchate. Sthita Dhir means his mind is or consciousness is fixed on Krishna. So his consciousness is fixed on Krishna. So on Krishna means whatever Krishna desires, whatever is suitable for his advancement in Krishna consciousness. He is ready to act. If acting in sensual way can make a devotee advance in Krishna consciousness, so he doesn't hesitate to act in a sensual way. Just like eating. So generally eating is considered an activity of sense gratification, eating delicious foods. So those who are on the path of detachment, they generally avoid eating very uh, delicious eatables. But a devotee, he doesn't act like this. A devotee, if he knows that this table has been honored by Krishna, so this is Krishna's Mahaprasadam. If Krishna has tasted this Rasgulla Rasamalai, uh, this many varieties of foodstuffs, so I must also taste it. Krishna's remnants, Mahaprasad. And in this way, after accepting varieties of Krishna's remnants, a devotee uh, eating this Mahaprasada, he conquers the ill effect of the tongue. This is called Sthita Dhirmuni Uchyate. He is neither attached nor detached. Whatever Krishna has eaten, I must eat. That's all. He has no personal desire. Similarly, in so many other things, he acts according to the will of the Lord. So, but one fixed in Krishna consciousness has neither attachment nor detachment because his life is dedicated in the service of the Lord. Consequently, he is not at all angry even when his attempts are unsuccessful. Vitaraga Bhaya is freed from attachment and aversion, and because his only concern is to act for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So, the so called success of any activity does not affect his consciousness. If he knows that I have given my best for the pleasure of Krishna, and Krishna is pleased with my endeavors, sincere service. So, even if apparently there is no success materially, uh, the unsuccessful situation, still he is not at all frustrated. He is not at all angry. He is still means fixed up in his task of acting for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Success or no success, a Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determination. That's why there may be success or no success, failure. But a Krishna conscious person, that means Sthita Dhir Muni, a Muni whose consciousness is fixed upon Krishna, he always remains he always remains steady in his determination to act in a Krishna conscious way. To act in a Krishna conscious way means to act for the pleasure of Krishna, to act what Krishna desires, or to act keeping advancement in devotional service in the center. Uh, And always remembering that my real goal is to advance in the service of Krishna. My real goal of life is the success of my activity is that I have acted for Krishna. This is all is his success. Just like a devotee, he may dedicate his life for serving Krishna, preaching his mission, book distribution, uh, but he may not get success. Suppose, for example, a devotee who was earlier working in a very multinational company and he was earning many millions of rupees uh, and was having so-called material success. But when he leaves this and dedicates his life for the preaching mission of the Supreme Lord, so he is going out and distributing books uh, door to door. So he may not be earning even a few thousands of rupees, uh, but still the devotee feels great satisfaction at the end of the day that, oh, even though I could distribute only few to three books, uh, but still my life is successful. My today's is successful. Today is success, a great success. Why? because I gave this entire day for the service of Krishna. So in this way, he remains fixed up in his determination, and he is least bothered about success or no success. On the other hand, a devotee understands if actually a Krishna conscious person is there, if he at all, if he is engaged in material activities, so even if he attains a lot of wealth, lot of name and fame, a great amount of material success, but he will understand, he will not feel satisfaction. He will think, oh, what nonsense is this? I'm simply wasting my time in unnecessary acquiring money, name, and fame, which is not going to help me eventually to to become free from the cycle of birth and death. It is not going to help me to become to advance in Krishna consciousness. In this way, he rejects such thing and he remains Sthitadhir. So Sthitadhir Muni means a devotee is fixed in his consciousness that um, life's greatest endeavor, life's greatest success is in Krishna consciousness. By serving Krishna, even if there is apparently no so-called success, material success, is still that is all good. So this is called Sthitadhir. And such a devotee remains undisturbed even in miserable situation and is not at all affected by the comforts and opportunities for sense gratification. He remains freed from attachment, aversion, and frustration because he doesn't act in material consciousness. So this is the sum and substance of this verse. Tomorrow we'll proceed at next verse. Yah sarvatra abhinishnehas tat tat prapya shubhashubham nabhinandati na dveshti tasya pratigya pratisthati pratisthita. Okay, Hare Krishna. Do you have any question?